So I hope we have done increment and decrement operator last class. So let's get into the loops. So first of all, I just wanted to give you some heads up about loops. So what is the meaning of a loop? Normal English meaning. It will be having multiple iterations. It's a kind of circle again and again and again. It's a kind of yeah, that's called as a loop. So the same thing, the same logic is applied for Java also. So here you can call a loop is like if you wanted to execute a piece of a code again and again and again for a certain times. So you will use the loops here. So there are multiple types of loops available in Java. So let's get into the one by one. Let me create a package with the same name. There are for loop available and while loop, do while. So these three are the major. So let's start. Let me start with the for loop. So all three loops is used for to execute a piece of a code multiple times, certain number of times. But why three again? Why three? Only single is enough, right? Why three? So the mechanism is something little different. So let me show you one by one. Then you will understand better. Created a main method. So instead of it, let's say if I execute system.println hello world, this will only get executed only one time, right? You can see only one time it is executing and it is printing hello world only for one time. So if you wanted to execute for n number of times, so how can you do that? You have to use one of the loop. So let me introduce a for loop. So for loop has a syntax of so it will be like this. It's look like a if condition only, but here if here for will come, and inside of the for there will be three segments: declaration and initialization, semicolon, comma, condition, semicolon, comma, increment or decrement. So this is the actual syntax of a for loop. So this is the syntax, right? So I'll just comment out. This is actually syntax, right? Now we will replace the same thing with the actual values. So create a for loop. Now instead of a for loop, so now declare an initialization. Declare one variable and initialize the value. So that's what we already know, how to declare a variable and how to initialize the value also, right? So let's declare int I equals to 1. Now what is a condition? You can keep the condition as I less than or equals to 5. This is one of the conditions. You can keep anything. I'll tell you one by one. An increment or decrement. I want it to increment, let's say I++. So this is the actual syntax of a for loop. Now here, if you observe what actually we are doing. So we are trying to initialize the value of I with the 1, and we are just checking the condition whether I is less than or equals to 5 or not. It is less than. I value is what? It's a 1 only. 1 is less than or equals to 5. True. Whenever this comes, whenever the condition becomes true, so then it will come and execute the whole piece of a code. Whatever, how many lines it could be, that many lines it will execute, and it will go for a second time by doing a ++. When I++ will execute, it will not execute in sequence. First, it will declare an initialization and it will check with the condition. And once the condition is true, it will execute here. And whenever completion of this execution, it will go to the next iteration. Before going to the next iteration, it will execute I++. So what it will do? I value becomes 2. Now, in the second iteration, it will not execute this. It will execute only one time. That is for initialization and declaration. Sorry, declaration and initialization. And second time, I value is 2. Now it is comparing with the 5. So still also less than or equals to 5. Now again, once it is true, it will come and execute this. Once executed this piece of a code, it will go to the third iteration. Iteration means the circle, one circle, right? It will go to the third iteration. Before going to third iteration, it will do the I++. It will execute this, right? Now going to the third iteration, I equals to 3 less than or equals to 5. It's again true. It will execute for third time, and going back a fourth time, it will use I++. It will become 4. Now 4 is less than or equals to 5. Now it will execute for the fourth time this piece of a code. Now again going for a fifth time, so I will become 5 by I++. Now 5 is less than or equals to 5. It is again true. Then again it will execute this piece of a code 5 times. Now I++ it will do, it will become 6. Now it will check the condition. 6 is less than or equals to 5. So 6 is 6 less than or equals to 5? No, it's a false, right? So it will come out of the loop. So it will break the condition and it will come out of the loop. Okay, I'll just keep here hello world instead of it. As we already know, so this will going to be executed for the 5 times. So let's verify it. Let's run it first. You can see the output. This is executed for the 5 times. This is normal statement, main started and main ended. So in between this, so 5 hello worlds are there. You can see it, right? So how it is executing, like I will explain it again. So it will start from 1. You can start with anything. Let me change the values. I will start from 13, odd, any different number. 13 to, just wanted to go for 17. 13 to 17 I wanted to go, and again I wanted to increment. If you do the decrement, what will happen? If you do minus minus, so what will happen? 13, it will be less than of 17 true, and it will be minus minus. It will become 12. Next time 11. Next time 10. Next time 9. Minus minus. Keep on going. It's always true. All negative numbers always less than of 17, right? It's always true. It will be the infinite condition, infinite loop. It will not come out of that loop actually. Let's see what is the output of it. You can see, hello world is printing for a number of times. So you have to make sure that what is the starting value you given and what is the ending value you given. So is the starting value is less than of a 17 or greater than of a 17? You have to verify. So according to that, you have to reach from start value to the end value. To reach end value, you have to give plus plus or minus minus. If you are giving 17 here and you are comparing the 13 greater than 13, so you have to give minus minus, right? In this case, you have to give plus plus. I hope you understood, guys. Any confusion?
No, sir.
Right. So in this condition, how many times it will execute? Can anyone tell that? 13, it will execute for true. 14, 15, 16, 17, 5 times. Let's check. Again, it's a 5 times. It's not about the values. I mean, it's not, you can take any number of values that you wanted to start and end. How many times you wanted to end, that should be very careful. Like this value should be lesser than, and this value should be greater than if you use the less than. Right, I will use a second use case, minus minus. Let's try. So int j equals to 20. J is less than or equals to, not less than. You have to take greater than or equals to 10. J plus plus. What it will happen if you do the j plus plus? I just skipped second for loop. So just carefully observe, guys. Started with the 20. 20 is always greater than 10, and you are doing plus plus. What it will happen if you do the plus plus? It will keep on go. It will not reach the 10. The ultimate goal for a for loop is you have to reach the target value here. This value you have to reach. To reach from this value, you have to do the plus plus. And here, to reach this 10 from 20, you should not do the plus plus. You have to do minus minus. So what will happen?
Yes,
Sorry?
nothing, sir.
Right. So what will happen if you do the plus plus? It will keep on go 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It will not reach 10. So it will be the infinite again. So you have to do minus minus. Then it will start from 20. It will come down 20, next iteration 19, 18, 17 till 10. So
10 times.
Yeah, 10 times it will execute, not even 10 times. It will execute for 11 times because greater equals to 10 is there, right? So 11 times it will execute. So see, you can see 3, 6, 9, 11. 11 times is executed, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's about a plus plus and minus minus. You can use both of this in a for loop. It's a very easy actually if you understand very well. Then this is about for loop. Only you have to use the integer values. Then only you can come down, or you can use the ABCDs also. That's fine. That's a separate thing actually. Don't go into it. Use only integers in a for loop. Right. This is what about a for loop actually. You have any questions? Anyone?
Sir, in for loop, we will not give the increment or decrement operator. No, what will happen, sir? It will give any error, sir?
No, it will not give you any error. See, if you remove this also, it will not give you any error. You have to keep semicolon. That's important thing. What will happen if you are not giving? So I will be still 13. For n number of iterations, I will be 13. It will not reach the 17 to break the condition, right? Observe. It's the infinite again.
Okay, sir.
So you have to keep a condition so that it should reach the target value. For loop will work. Now for loop is all about if you want to execute this piece of code for multiple times, you have to decide how many times, and you have to keep that start value and end value. This is not a big deal. The conditions and less than or equals to, this is a big deal. And the numbers, that many times it will execute the piece of a code. You can keep anything, any number of lines here inside of a for loop. That many number of lines it will execute for that many times, right? So that's about for loop. So still you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, we use for loop only for integers, sir. We can't use this for alphabets and all.
Alphabets, you can use it only for A to Z. Let me show you that one as well, but it is little confusing. That's why I don't go into that actually. So let's see.
Okay.
So what is a A? You can call it as char, right? Char.
Yes, sir.
A equals to, it will start from A and A is less than or equals to Z, A plus plus. Actually, instead of a character also, for each and every character, there should be a ASCII value. That is also again an integer. It will compare with the integer internally, but we don't know, right? So let's see. If I print A here directly, so what it will print? You can see ABCDs, right?
Yes, sir.
You see that?
Yeah, sir.
You can see ABCDs also, but actually if you try to even print ABCDs internally, how it will work, I will give you. You can able to convert, just hold on guys, you can able to convert int, let's say m equals to A. You can convert character to the integer. Let's see what is the m here. I'm running. See, small a will start from 97. Normally, it's already fixed. It's already ASCII values are fixed for each and every character. So small a will start from 97 to 122. What about a capital A? It's already fixed. So internally, it will compare the integers, ASCII numbers only. Whenever you do the loop, this is starting from 65. Got it? If you wanted to print any special character also, that is also having some ASCII number. Character ch equals to, let's say for @ what is the ASCII number? Int p equals to ch. Let's print the p. What is the ASCII value for that? You can see 64. 64 is the ASCII number for @ or like that. So each and every character, small a to small z, capital A to capital Z, for each and every special characters, any comma, semicolon, less than, greater than, everything has a ASCII number. By using that ASCII number only, so it will internally use the for loop. The same thing. If you use the A to Z, it is internally comparing with the what is the number? What is the number? Let's see. It will
97.
It will start from 97 to 122. You got it. It will
Yes,
compare
sir.
with the 97 and less than or equals to what is that? 190?
122.
22. So that's how it will start and it will end. So, but as we, I mean, this is good to know about for each and every character has ASCII number. So just remember that. Just compare
Okay,
this integer. I'm just printing k only as of now. I don't want to confuse you guys. So let me print ABCDs only. Okay, so that's about for loop. Any other questions for loop? No questions? Great. So let me go to the next for loop. Next loop, that is while. So this is very easy than the for loop. It's very clear actually. In the for loop, you don't know how it is executing, right? How the flow is going on. In the for loop, first it will execute this, and for each and every iteration, it will execute the condition only. It will check the condition only. After checking the condition and after executing this, it will just execute I++, right? After executing this, after going to the next iteration, before going to the next iteration, it will execute increment or decrement. But here in while loop, it's very clear. And according to your convenient, you can choose one of it. There is no rule. I mean, there is no advantage or disadvantage between these two, but there is a chance you can miss out in a while loop. There is a chance something you can miss out. The main started line, main ended. So here syntax will be for loop, sorry, while loop, while whatever the segments we talked about, right? These three segments, declaration, initialization, condition, and increment and decrement, three are there, but in proper way. So here, declaration and initialization will come before while loop. Now inside of a while loop, there will be a condition. It's look like a if condition only. If you keep here if, it will be the if condition. If you keep while, it will be the while condition. Now at last, increment or decrement. So this will be the syntax for a while condition, sorry, while loop. Now what it will do, the flow. You have to declare and initialize a value variable. Once it is declared and initialized, you have to use the same variable inside of a condition for a while loop. So while checking the condition, if this condition is true, then it will execute this piece of a code, If it is not true, it will come out of the loop. it will break the loop and it will come out of the loop. So once it is true, it will execute all the lines. Let's say these are all the lines. At end of the line, it will do the increment or decrement. Got it? This increment or decrement done by at last line. So this will be the proper. While end of the line, you have to do the increment or decrement, and it will go to the next iteration again with the incremented value. So let's see an example. Int I equals to 1. Same example I will see here. While condition will be I less than or equals to 5. And at last, I do the I++ to reach the target value. The start value will be I and the target value will be 5. Right? To reach that, I have to keep I++. And I will just keep same thing, hello world. Okay. Now, see, this is look like something very clear than the for loop, right? The execution flow I'm talking about. So it will declare and initialize the value of I with the 1. Now it will check the condition I less than or equals to 5 true. Once it is true, it will execute whole thing. While executing, it will print the hello world and it will do the I++. It will become 2. Now it will again come. 2 is less than or equals to 5 true. Execute this and 3 is less than or equals to 5 true. Come and execute this. And again, it will become 4. 4 is less than or equals to 5. True. Execute this and it will become 5. 5 is less than or equals to 5. True. Execute this and this value becomes 6. Right? This value becomes 6. Now, when it comes to the while loop, 6th time, 6 is less than or equals to 5. It's a false thing. 6 is not less than or equals to 5. It will be the false. Now it will come out of the loop. It will not execute this thing and it will come out of the loop and it will execute in the 21st line directly. Now run it. You can see same output. The functionality, the mechanism, both are working in the same fashion. It will execute for that many times, but the flow, whatever is the execution flow, is something different. The syntax is something different. What do you feel, guys? Which one is easy, for or while? To understand it.
While loop.
While loop is better.
Yeah, while loop look like is very easy. Very understandable basically, the flow. But here it's like, it is also very easy only, but if you understand. But this is something like you cannot see when it is going to update the I value. I++, you cannot you cannot see that, but you know that, but you cannot see that when I++ is going to done. But here it's very clear when I++ is going to execute. That's what the difference, nothing else. But both are working in the same fashion. But why while loop? But most of the people are preferring for loop. Why? Why? Because there is no chance to do the mistakes here. You can do all three in a sequence at a time, and then you will go for writing of a logic. You can able to see, right? Whether I declared a variable and condition and the increment or decrement. But here, let's say I have 100 lines inside of a while loop. While writing the 100 lines, you might miss a condition. You might miss this I++ to write. If it is a single line, you can able to remember, right? But while writing that, there is a lot of chance to do the mistakes. That's fine. That's not a big deal. That's the only difference I feel. Okay. So this is how you can write from less than value to the lesser value to the higher value. So let me write one more thing. Int j equals to 5 to 1. I'll come from 5 to 1. Now this j should be greater than or equals to 1. It should be greater than. To reach the 1, it should be the greater than, right? 5 is always greater than 1. If you keep a less than here, it will not execute even one time also. The condition also very important. Now, it is executed. You have to do j plus plus or minus minus.
minus plus plus
Plus
No,
plus,
no,
sir.
we have to do minus
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 minus.
because 5 is a starting value and ending value should be the
Yeah,
1.
yeah, minus one.
So we have to do minus minus. Now try to execute this. While loop is executed again for 5 times. You can give any value here. No need to start from 5. You can give 100. It will start from 100 and it will end from 1. It will end in the 1. So total
Sir,
100 loops it will go. Sorry, tell me.
sir, if you give minus minus j means what will happen? Sir?
It
Minus
will be
minus.
same thing. There is no big difference. I told you if you put minus minus j or plus j minus minus in a normal statement, not in a system.out.println or any other if condition or while condition. No, while reading, you're not reading that value at a time, right? Just doing the minus minus or j minus minus or minus minus j. Both will work in a same fashion. Whenever you are keeping this j minus minus or minus minus j inside of our reading places, like system.out.println or else if conditions, so that place it will show you some differences. We already discussed about the difference as well, right? This
Yeah, sir.
will be any difference. Both will work in the same fashion.
In for loop also same, sir.
Same. It will work in the same fashion. No big deal.
Okay.
5 times, right? So no big deal. So whenever you are keeping inside of a system reading places, remember reading places will come like system.println, if condition, and assigning some values to the variable right side places, and while conditions. You can keep some for loop while conditions also. Here also you can keep I++. Directly you can write here. No need to, you can comment out this, it will also work. So what it will do, it will just place the I there, one value, and less than or equals to 5. Right after placing the 1 there, it will increment by 1. You no need to write one I++ again manually. Understood?
Okay, sir.
Automatically incremented here. For the next iteration, it is ready for incrementing. You can check it. Multiple ways to write the code, but you have to know, so all the ways actually. That's fine. You should know the basics first of all. Right? So this is about a while condition. And any questions so far, guys, in this?
In Java, loops means these two only.
There is a
For
one
loop,
more.
while loop,
There is
that's
a
all.
one more, do while. There is a one more.
Okay.
So that also we will discuss now. Any questions in the while loop? So let me go to the, if there is no questions, let me go to the do while.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, before we had separate the declaration part, no, sir. In while loop itself, int I less than or equal to 5, that part we will give it.
Where? I didn't
In
get.
while loop itself. In while loop, sir. While loop.
No.
I less than or equal to 5.
Here you are saying like this.
Yeah, sir.
No, this is not possible. I mean, this is not at all possible. You should.
Okay.
You should do only this and this. You should not combine at a time. First of all, it should be the value, right? If you do like this, is I value here. I is comparing with the 5, that's fine. But what is the I value? You're not at giving the I value, right?
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Not the proper way to initialize.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's good actually. Always think about a negative scenarios. Then only you can know that, okay, this is not the right way. This is not going to be work out. Always think negative scenarios. I'll definitely appreciate it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now in do while. So this is very easy. Like okay, now here. So what is the exact syntax of a do while? So first do will come And here while condition will come like this. And this will be the piece of code inside of a do. And here you can just like in declaration, initialization, you can do here. And here increment or decrement you can do here. So I'll explain how it will work. Let's say I will do one thing. I'll give you one example here. Int I equals to, I'll start from 15. Okay. Now do while. So what is the condition I'm going to keep here? Like I is greater than 20. Okay. So I is greater than or equals to 20. So by mistake, I keep I is greater than or equals to 20. Now I'm just keeping okay. Now I'm doing I++. So what I'm trying to do, I started with the 15 and it will execute the do whenever I will explain the first flow actually, how it will go. First initialization declaration should be done normally. Now it will execute the do and it will condition. When the condition is true, and it will again execute the do. When condition is again true, it will execute the do. Until and unless the condition is false, it will again and again executing the do. When condition is false, it will come out of the loop. But here, if you observe, let's run this. So what is the value of I?
15.
So what is the
15.
condition here?
I
I greater than or equal to 20.
I
Greater than or equal to 20.
true or false?
False.
false.
Right, false, right? Remember that and try to run it. This is printed. Why? Do while loop is executed.
At least one time it will print, sir. At least one
Exactly.
time. First quest it will print.
Exactly. So this is what the difference between the while loop and do while. So whenever you keep in a while loop, let's say I is greater than or equals to 5. Let's keep like this. So what it will happen? It will not execute for one time also because I is not greater than 5. I is less than. But you kept the wrong condition, false condition. It will come out of the loop in the very first time. Run this. You can see hello world is not there even for one time. If you keep less than, then it will become 5 times. But here, even though the condition is false, it will execute for at least one time. This do while, do loop, do block. Okay. Only difference. So the flow will be like, first it will execute this line and then it will execute the do blindly. It will execute the do before checking the condition and it will check the condition later. Then once it is true, then it will go and execute this. And again, it will be true. It will execute this until and unless it will be false. Now you can see there is a false condition I written. So it is executed first time. Before checking the condition, it is printed first time. And I will be 16. 16 is greater than 20 is again a false. Right? This is a wrong condition. Though it is a wrong condition, it is printing for one time. Now I'll keep a genuine condition. Instead of do while, I'll keep a hello world here. So here instead of I, I'll use a J. Now try to run it. You can see 6 times it is printing. Why 6 times? 15, it is printing for one time and is going for 16. 16 is greater than 20. Now one time is printed. Now for a 16, it is also true. It is printing. Second time it is printing and it is becoming 17. 17 is again true. It will go and execute this. Third time it is printing and it will become 18. 18 it is true. It will go and execute this. Fourth time it is printing. It will become 19. 19 is less than or equals to 20. It is true. It will print. Fifth time it is printing and it will become 20. Now 20 is again equals to 20. Sixth time. Now it will again come here and it will print. this 6 time system.println, and it will become 21, and it will be 21 is less than or equals to 20 is false, and it will break the condition. You understood that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's why it is printing for 6 times. Before checking the condition itself, it is printing, right? That's why it is going for extra 1 time. Yeah, this is how the do-while will work. And this is the exact difference between the while and do-while. So do-while will definitely execute for 1 time. That piece of a code definitely will execute for 1 time, even though condition is false. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.